match. We haven't actually seen a blue-black control list on stream today.
That's true.
Seen a good number of Abzan decks. No two alike, though. It's always nice. But you can only see so many Siege Rhinos.
So it looks like this card, we apologize for the glare. This is an Heir of the Wilds. It's the promo version. This attack is going to take Logan down to 14. And another Rakshasa Death Dealer. This is a good start from Joshua.
Abzan Aggro, a deck that had fallen a little out of favor. A lot of the players here are saying they don't really think it's as strong as it used to be, but it's showing quite the start for this one.
Yeah, and then there is a Languish. That's the card that a lot of people have been afraid of, and a little bit timid to build their decks in certain ways. We'll see what follow-up Joshua has here. Looks like Anafenza. Not a bad one. 4/4 for 3. With text.
With text.
With text.
Yes.
Beneficial text.
Whenever she attacks, you can put a counter on another tapped creature you control. And all creatures that your opponents control get exiled instead of going to the graveyard.
Super relevant in a lot of matchups.
Yeah, although not probably that big of a deal against the blue-black control list.
No, I actually don't believe that...
No, I'm
Logan
looking
has
at the list
any
right
creatures.
here, and the creature column is blank.
Yeah, I think he's got some Tassigers in the sideboard, but nothing in the main deck.
33 spells, 27 lands for the control.
Okay, it looks like Clash of Wills here going to take care of this morph. The Den Protector not going to resolve.
Game 1, control deck's really looking to just keep the board clear and grind them out with Ashiok's.
He is going to take 4 from that Anafenza, though. He's got to find a way to deal with that and stop whatever Joshua decides to add to the board going forward. Both of our players here are playing at X and 1 on 18 points. Here's a Hero's Downfall inside the attack step. Gonna get rid of Anafenza and then Fleecemane Lion to follow it up. Logan trying his best to protect his life total.
Opulent Palace. Now, I don't believe he's using that for a green source. I think it's mostly just as another dual land that comes in tapped.
Looks like entering combat. Joshua does not have a 5th land, so Logan feels free enough to go ahead and use his Hero's Downfall to take care of this Fleecemane Lion. Oh, well, there's the 5th land. Maybe an interesting misplay there. Should have probably played his land first. Threatening at least to Monstrous makes Logan somewhat gun-shy here. Just going to pass it back. Seems to have run out of steam.
Radiant Fountain. Gain 2.
Yeah. Up to 12. There's 4 mana for a Perilous Vault. Let's see if we can get that spell in front of those lands where it should be.
Yeah. So he only has 4 mana up right now, so he can't activate it. But he's really only going to catch a Siege Rhino with this, and I feel like you... Oh, we have a end-of-turn dig, looks like. But yeah, you usually don't want to use the Vault to one for one. You're spending 9 mana. You kind of want to answer threats, and when things get a little bit too out of control, you can kind of just fall back on the Vault and just clear it out.
Definitely true.
There we go. Make things a little bit more clear for the viewers.
And got everything moved around where it should be. See what we got from that dig. That's going to take him up to 10. That's a dismal backwater.
Trying to stabilize a bit here.
There we go, got the life total fixed. accidentally went down from the Siege Rhino instead of back up. He's going to go to 22 here off of the fetch land. See if Joshua has enough gas left in the tank to finish off Logan in game 1. Gonna be tough to do through a Perilous Vault. If you do not commit enough to the board, he will not pop the vault, and he'll just use this hero's downfall.
Ooh, 1 for 1.
Yep, and if you do commit too much, it all goes inside the vault.
Catch 22, man. Rock and a hard place.
Yep. And here's a clash.
Mana for days.
Yeah, just gonna... Oh, excuse me, that's dissolve. We apologize. Alternate art. Getting us once again.
Ah, that has been the story of the day.
Playing the waiting game.
Sandstep Citadel.
Oh, here's a dig at the end.
I don't need any of those.
Just gonna go ahead and get rid of those cards in the graveyard. It's pretty free.
I think I saw Crux of Fate in
Yeah,
that 7.
You are correct. There was a Crux in there. I think he's left it among the 5 going to the bottom. We'll see what he did take. Perhaps Jace's Ingenuity? It does look like the promo for Jace's Ingenuity. So he's going to draw 3 here. End of turn. That was a very good dig.
Oh, yeah.
Netting him, in essence, 4 cards. Drawing up to 5. Another copy of Dismal Backwater.
Going up to 11.
Kind of doing it now. Just needs a way to close out the game, like an Ugin or an Ashiok. Something like that.
Cards in hand, mana untapped, vault on the board. Good place for control to be with nothing but lands for your opponent in play.
Yeah, and just land to go from Joshua. Sitting pretty with 22 life, but no real pressure.
Real pressure.
The clock ticks on.
Look, a swamp.
There's a Thoughtseize. Looks like Hero's Downfall. And 2 copies of Foul Tongue Invocation. Those are probably the worst cards in the deck for Joshua to draw.
Yeah.
No creatures for Logan.
Although Hero's Downfall is very relevant because Logan's main win con is through Planeswalkers. So I think that's probably going to be our choice here.
Yeah, he did take that.
Yeah, what do you want me to sack? Sure. You got it.
Losing 2 life from Thoughtseize. Taking him down to 9. No real trouble, though.
Yeah, and it's just a pass back. Rough. I think we're going to see an Ashiok here.
Be surprised. Yep. That's going to be the one. Here's a +3. Looks like Surak the Dragonclaw. Yes.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
He's the 5/4, right? With formidable give a creature haste at the beginning of each combat step. Or your combat step.
I believe that is correct. Wingmate Rock with no raid trigger coming in. See if that prompts a response from Logan or not. Probably just going to resolve. Now, here's a copy of Clash.
Clash of Wills, yeah.
Gonna make sure that the 3 mana required. Oh, well, there's not super relevant. Logan just would have tapped 1 more mana.
Yeah. Use it while you can. We're getting to the point of the game where you can kind of follow up a spell and have lands for days. So I like the Clash here.
It's like a Warden of the First Tree, the only creature hit off of this.
Warden of the First Tree. Now, Warden of the First Tree will green to cast all of its ramp-ups or Figure of Destiny modes are black-white hybrids, correct?
Correct.
So he can actually make that a real threat if he wants to. Gain some life back very quickly.
Should he choose? He does know that Joshua has 2 copies of Foul Tongue Invocation. So
true. So
putting a creature into play, yeah, you're not super interested in doing that at the moment. I think you just want to tick up, get rid of that hand,
Start milling
get
them
rid of
out.
that graveyard. Yeah, just get this game over and done with. 2 copies of Hero's Downfall and a Rakshasa Death Dealer. He does have
Right.
access to green mana as well from the Opulent Palisades.
Palaces?
Palisades? No, that's not right. We'll find the word eventually. Just give us the time. In any case, up goes Ashiok. And down goes Joshua's library count. Up to 11. Threatening ultimate very, very soon. Another Surok. Another Rakshasa Death Dealer. See if Joshua can draw something. Abzan Charm. That's not a terrible one. Drawing 2 cards. Seems reasonable here.
Yeah, he's realized his opponent isn't really interacting with his life total right now. So going down to 20, you're starting him out. You're not worried about it at all.
Looks like he is going to cast this Abzan Charm.
He's probably going to let it resolve, hope that he can't cast, and then just wipe away the hand.
Looks like it will resolve. He's going to go down to 20.
He's going to dissolve. I couldn't quite see that. It came out real quick. 5 minutes was another rock.
Looks like Fleece Mane.
Oh. Right, 3 for the charm, 2 for the fleece mane. Just gonna say no thank you.
Not
And
interested.
There's an Ashiok ult.
So your hand is gone.
Your yard is gone.
Your yard is gone. And good luck, sir.
Yeah.
Good luck. Also, all of those things able to be brought back should it tick up far enough. He's cleared the way of sorts.
Siege Rhinos make short work of a life total when you're unopposed.
Absolutely.
Ashiok, however, is put into play, so it will get the Siege Rhino trigger as it's enter the battlefield trigger.
Oh, that's a reasonable top deck from him. Jace's Ingenuity, the response. Looking for a counterspell here. We find another copy of Dissolve. Not sure he has enough to clash here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can pay for a clash.
We tap him out, but that's
Just gonna let it resolve. Go ahead and plus the Ashiok. Another copy of Siege Rhino and an Anafenza. Worst comes to worst, Logan can just pop the vault. Oh, well, here comes Hero's Downfall. Maybe a bit overeager. Yep, that is going to die in response. Okay, players getting clear on which mana was tapped and which was not. There's a Warden of the First Tree. Not terrible.
he's just laying whatever cards on top out. He knows he can cast it.
A dig. We'll see if this is in response or not. Oh, well, we see an ultimate price being brought to the hand. Just gonna let it resolve. Kill it in response to whatever Joshua would choose to do with it. Oh, -2 here. That's interesting. Rakshasa Death Dealer. Copy of Polluted Delta.
He's got 2 of his palaces in play, so he can pump that up to 6 damage a turn. With really no downside. Is that another Fleece Mane?
I believe it is. He keeps top decking these sticky, annoying little green creature threats.
It's not out of the game yet.
Giving Logan the fits. Can't quite put him away just yet. Although I don't know that his percentage points to win this game are very high. In fact, I would go so far as to venture and say that they are the opposite of high. I would say they are quite low.
Yeah.
But
his
he
life
continues on nonetheless.
Yeah. As you should. Make them show you the win, as I always say.
Oh, yes. He's digging through his deck at about the same rate he's taking cards away from Joshua with the Ashiok.
The third or fourth dig through time it's resolved.
I believe that is correct. See what he took off of it. Copy of Ugin would probably wrap this game up. Let's see if he found it. Do you see the ultimate price? Hold to the front.
Oh, he even has Haven of the Spirit Dragon in play, so if something does happen to his Ugin, he can just grab it right back. He's going to activate the Warden again.
Looks like Ultimate Price is going to take out the Warden. And as we can see, there is a copy of Ugin in the hand. Ultimate Price after the activation. Draw for the turn. A swamp. Yeah, here comes Ugin.
Gets his Fleetsman at the ready.
Oh, well, let's wait a second here. Yeah, and here's a -2, perhaps? No, just gonna... Oh, he's plussing.
No, he plussed the bolt the line.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That
I
is
think
a
that
very
was
good
the,
line.
are you my lion? He went, yes, and just put it right in the graveyard.
Indeed. The scry from Joshua. Let's see if he continues. Doesn't like it. Gonna put it on bottom. Checking to see what outs remain in his deck at all. Valid, logical, makes sense. Thinking about it. And he's thinking about it. And he's had enough. He says, give me my cards back. Let's go to game 2.
Let's go to game 2. Is there a card left in my deck that can beat this Ashiok and Ugin at such high loyalty?
I would
Looks like his answer was no.
Yeah. Logan gunning up one game with blue-black control over Joshua Zuckero? Playing Abzan Aggro.
Yeah. All right, so we have a copy of our side list here. So, I can already see some great cards on Josh's side. 2 Mistcutter Hydras.
Oh, that's a good one.
Seems good.
Not one that we've seen very recently, but very, very good nonetheless.
Yeah. I feel like the end hostilities are not coming in. Val stands very strong. A lot of destroy effects coming through. A lot of damage from the Ugin. Elspeth, Sun's Champion. The game's going late. A resolved Elspeth could easily grind out a win. Hollowed Moonlight, probably not. Maybe. I mean, if you're using it to answer the cards Ashiok stole, you're already kind of on a back foot there. And it just seems not worth a slot. Crux of Fate, not going to come in. Yeah, I like the Mistcutters here, and I like the Val stance. Save my guys, and have a big old Hydra that you can't block. Not that you have blockers, but you can't counter.
Yes, I definitely like Mistcutter in this matchup. I'm not sure that's a card that... I mean, Logan does have answers to it in the form of his black removal spells.
Mm-hmm.
He's He's got 2 ultimate prices in the main deck. He's also got 4 copies of Hero's Downfall. He's got some mass removal spells that can also take care of it. As far as the sideboard goes, though, he has 2 copies of Tassiger the Golden Fang, 2 copies of Infinite Obliteration, a popular sideboard choice this weekend. Kind of surprising to me.
There are a couple of decks where there's just a card they can't deal with. I know a lot of people were playing against some of the Nihilists earlier, and they just weren't expecting the Wingmate Rocks. So that was a popular side-in because, like, I can't interact with flyers that well, and so they were able to win a lot of their games by just deleting that card out of their opponent's deck.
Yeah, I don't think either of those are coming in here. We have Talent of the Telepath, 1 copy, 1 extra copy of Ugin the Spirit Dragon, 1 copy of Gainsay, 1 copy of Negate, 1 copy of Foul Tongue Invocation. I think it's 3 copies of Drown in Sorrow and 3 copies of Thoughtseize to round out the 15-card sideboard. I like Drown in Sorrow a reasonable amount. I like Thoughtseize a reasonable amount. Could make an argument for bringing the Foul Tongue.
How do you like the Talent of Telepath?
I don't know that I want it in this matchup. I think it's very, very good against a larger Abzan aggro deck. Against the smaller one, I don't think. You just want to play your spells. You don't want to play
There's
yours.
not too many spells. He's going to be siding out like his Hero's Downfalls and his Foul Tongues. Maybe you catch yourself with an Abzan Charm or a Dramoka's Command. I might have modes you could use. However, the Mill 7, there's a lot of turns where he had oodles of mana left open.
Very true.
We'll see. It's kind of... There's a lot of... I feel like there's a lot of dead cards in Joshua's deck against this matchup. He's got 3 Heroes Downfall in the main, 2 Foul Tongues, and a Spear of Heliod. Spear of Heliod is nice because it'll buff your team, but it's also got that fun activation where any creature that dealt damage to you, you can pay 1 and 2 white, tap the spear, destroy that creature.
Absolutely.
But that mode is just completely blanked by a control list such as this.
I agree. We're getting word from our table spotter. Logan is siding in the Ugin and the Foul Tongue. So only 2 cards coming in for him. Not opting to bring in any copies of Drown in Sorrow or Thoughtseize. Very interesting. No word on what Joshua's doing.
I like a second copy of Ugin there. That game went so long, not necessarily because it was close, but because he was just digging.
Yeah.
And digging through time. And digging through time. And I believe a third dig through time.
I think there were at least 3, yeah. Players have drawn their opening hands. Joshua's going to say no to his. We'll see what Logan thinks about his 7. Looks like he is going to keep. See lands that make both blue and black mana. Always a good thing. There's 6 for Joshua. Let's see what it's got.
Once again, we are in round 8 of 9.
8 of 9.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line for these players as they're near the top of the bracket, but that narrow spot gets closer and closer. I believe these players are X and 1.
Yep.
So the X and 2 is where you kind of get that line of, can I get in the top 8? So even though they've done so well right now, it's really coming down to the wire of when they really need their decks to perform.
Looks like he did keep. Found a Temple of Malady, scrying, thinking about it. Gonna keep it on top. No 2-drop for Joshua. A little unfortunate, maybe just due to his mana base. With Scry effects helping him find the cards that he really does want. It's gonna be helpful. There's a Fleecemane.
Okay. Not too far behind. These early turns before Logan can really get set up is where those small aggressive 2-drops really put in their work. Oh, but a turn 3 Ashiok.
That's a very, very good one.
Grabbing a Death Dealer and an Anafenza.
Absolutely. Now Joshua has to decide whether he wants to pressure the Ashiok or let it get value and continue to either go up or move down. Looks like miscutter for 2. Look, yeah, that's an interesting play, but it does take out the Ashiok. I think I like that from Joshua. Just gonna go ahead and finish it off there.
He knows that Ashiok is one of Logan's main engines, and taking it out this early kind of paves the way. He can answer some of his spells. He's got the vault on there, but you've got a couple turns. We got at least a turn where you can bash in.
Absolutely. Here comes
And
an
we're gonna
attack
see
for
right there.
5. It's gonna take Logan
Down to 16.
the Perilous Vault. Just kind of sitting there, daring Joshua to put anything else on the board. I think at the moment, it's probably enough pressure to pop it anyway.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised to see him add anything else. Well, or just throw 2 more things down. That's very interesting. Just gonna pass it back. Looking to see an attack step
Yep,
here,
and
and
there's
everything
exile.
goes into the vault forever. And then a Fleecebane Lion's going to show up to the party now.
I think he wasn't sure if Logan was actually gonna pop it against 2 creatures, so he wanted to make it even sweeter. Oh well, we can just follow up again. That's a play. So he's basically saying, well, if it's not at critical mass, then it is at critical mass now.
I think I would have just held on to those. Maybe play the Warden. Give him an incentive to do something, use the extra mana. Especially if he had that Abzan charm.
Yeah.
Oh, he's getting very aggressive. Just going to use it to put 2 damage in.
I think he knows that he's kind of on a clock. It's a race of, can I get Logan's life total below 0 before he draws enough answers? Because he saw so many spells that first game. He saw most of Logan's deck.
That is true.
Whether or not he's playing a little too aggressively, that's I guess, we'll see with the match results. But it's Abzan aggro. You can't blame him for trying to swing every turn.
That line of playing all 4 creatures into the vault is borderline suicidal. I cannot condone that. I think playing one of them just to entice Logan to make sure he does pop the vault is fine. Playing both, just not great.
Just a little too aggressive.
Definitely too aggressive for my liking. I also probably would have used the draw 2 mode on that Abzan charm. Fetch, you're going to take Joshua to 19.
Yeah, Josh is at 1 in his hand right now.
He's really been ground down by these Perilous Vaults. Giving his opponent a 4-for-1 with the vault, and then a 2-for-1 with this Hero's Downfall. Logan waiting in the wings with a copy of Ugin. And if Joshua's sitting on something like a Hero's Downfall, it's not going to save him for very long because there's a Haven of the Spirit Dragon.
Be right back 2 turns later at the latest.
Just waiting to be cashed in for that Planeswalker.
It's Ugin's namesake land, or at least one of the cycle.
One of them, yeah, for sure. Also, just a quick gripe here. Flavor fail on Eye of Ugin. Can't find Ugin. What?
Well, the Eye of Ugin was not an eye. It was just named after him.
It's just very unfortunate.
Speaking of Ugin lands, I saw some plays earlier. Someone was playing the Thopter deck, making many. This was just out in the field, and they had the Tomb of the Spirit Dragon, the pay 2 tap it, gain a life for each color's creature control. I saw someone gain 6 life off of the Khan's uncommon land, and he could just, you're gonna kill all my guys? All right, well, okay.
I think I saw that getting some play in the blue, red, and soul artifact deck that has been tearing up the Pro Tour.
Oh yeah. I do not doubt that. That combo seems good. When you're only going 2 colors, you kind of have a little bit more room for some fancy lands.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess utility lands. Most of these lands are quite fancy. As we've noticed, Logan's running 4 copies of Radiant Fountain.
Oh my, I think he pulled another copy of Ugin from that. Yeah, I think he did. He's got another one here. So Josh is going to have to fight through 3 different copies, potentially, of Ugin with this land in play.
I believe that Ugin's going to win this game.
I strongly agree with you. Your sentiment is just about right.
I love a Siege Rhino.
Oh, Siege Rhino while the shields are down. I like it. 7 to...
Fortunately, Siege Rhino is they
22.
lose 3 life. It is not damaged. He cannot redirect that to the Ugin.
Yeah. The same Ugin taking care of that permanent as well. Mist Cutter off the top, maybe? That would be very good. That could put him in range to force Logan to pop the vault on the next turn, and then potentially win with a Siege Rhino when the shields were down. Looks like Hero's Downfall and another card I can't quite make out. Well, that looks like Hallowed Moonlight?
I think he's just cycling it there.
Yeah. Interesting that he brought it in, though. Very, very interesting.
I think he did get beat with his own creatures from Ashiok. He may have just put a 1 of in.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Got to bring something in for those Foul Tongues. Anything would be better than Foul Tongue in this situation. That's going to meet with a Dissolve. No, thank you. I would like to keep this Ugin, the Spirit Dragon.
I paid 8 whole mana for this card. I think he's going to stick around.
Yeah, I've spent 2 turns minusing. I'd like to start plussing now. Rude. You know what else is rude? Perilous Vault.
Perilous Vault is super rude.
Very rude. Exiles them even. Just the rudest. Joshua going to get to untap here. I believe he's at 19 now after the plus from Ugin. Looks like that will also be met with a Dissolve. No Surrak Dragonclaw for you.
Surrak, a good card. If he does have to tap out, maybe play another Ugin. If you can Surrak and follow it up with any other 3-power creature, not Watch Wolf, but Fleece Mane, it'll turn that Surrak's formidable ability on immediately, and you can just bash in for 5 out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
Crack a fetch.
Gonna take him to 15. We've seen many Urborgs in play today. Not one this game, though. Gonna need to actually pop that fetch land if you want it to make you a colored source of mana. This is one of the interesting problems that aggro decks with lack of haste creatures are going to face. If he does top deck one of these Mist Cutters out of the sideboard, it's obviously his best draw because he's got plenty of mana, it can't be countered, it's got haste, it's great. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's so many cards in Logan's hand that he's probably just sitting on some sort of removal spell at this point, and it's not going to be there. Now, if he had access to something like Gaia's Revenge, we could be talking.
That card actually houses Logan's even current board state. He has to pop the vault.
He does have to pop the vault.
It's his only answer to that card.
Logan
he doesn't have chump blockers, which is the
Correct.
normal way to deal with the Revenge because it has no trample.
Yeah, Logan has to pop the vault, and the vault's going to take Ugin with it, which means that land is not going to be able to get the Ugin back.
However, the second copy of Ugin's hand, second copy of Ugin in Logan's hand, excuse me, just waiting.
Oh, and here's Ashiok going to join the party. Give us 1, 2, 3. There we go.
Land, spell?
Yeah, land spell. Looks like a Hero's Downfall, maybe. Yeah. Oh boy. Comes a Fleece Mane Lion.
Well, if he keeps grabbing lands, so say we get the right draw here. He drops a Mist Cutter, huge, crashes in, forces the vault to get popped. he can then follow up the next turn with another Mistcutter. He's got 2 in from his board. That could just catch him in the game.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. So a Siege Rhino hit here, that could shorten the clock by a turn, potentially. Looks like he is going to go upstairs. Next turn, if Joshua can't do something about this Ashiok. Yeah, it looks like he's on a 1-turn clock
He
here.
can minus...
There's the Bile Blight going to take out Fleeceman.
Minus bring in the Rhino plus Ugin, 6 damage exactly.
There we
And
go.
there's the concession.
Too many lands in hand. Too many wonderful blue-black control spells from
Not
Logan Gunnin.
not enough Hydras on the board.
Yep, I believe our backup match is also already finished. But Logan Gunnin taking the main one here. Gonna go to X and 1, 21 points after 8 rounds. An excellent day.
Excellent day. He's got to be happy about getting in a top 8 with only 1 round to go. His chances are looking quite strong.
Yeah, depending on breakers, he may be able to draw himself in. I love that he chose to play the Languishes today. We've already talked about it a little bit, but it's one of those new cards that should be sort of shaping the way people think about building their decks.
Yeah.
I didn't think this Abzan aggro deck was a particularly strong choice today because it does have a particular weakness to these sweepers, especially the ones that give minus effect, like that card
Indestructible is not going to help you against Languish.
does. Yeah, even if you monstrous your Fleece main, even if you have Rakshasa Death Dealer who can regenerate, none of those things matter.
Once your toughness hits 0, the
you're
game
dead.
puts
You're
the card
it's just over.
in the graveyard.
Speaking of over,
Yeah.
round 8 is about to be over. We want to take this opportunity to thank you once again for tuning in.
We have been having a blast. We are 8 rounds deep. 1 more round to go before we cut the top 8, and we will be with you for that entire time. And we look forward to you joining us in the top 8 and the next and final round.
All right, thank you guys. We will be back soon.